We are going to discuss law of conservation of energy, because this law states that energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. It can be changed from one form to another form, but the total energy remains constant. So it can be transformed, it can be changed from one form to another. So we can say that basically energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. Because if we are saying that energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, it means that the total energy of an isolated system, like in the beginning I told you the definition, that the total energy of an isolated system remains constant. Now to understand this, we have to understand we have to see the example of a pendulum. Now let us consider that if there is this, we just proof about, well, this is a pendulum, say, okay, this is the ground level, suppose, and the pendulum is hanging with a roof like this. It is hanging. Suppose this is the position A of the pendulum. Okay, now this, from the center of the pendulum, I am drawing a line, a reference line, an imaginary line. This, consider an imaginary line from the center of the bob of the pendulum. Now we have to see that what conversions are taking place while the potential to kinetic or kinetic to potential. This is the level at which the pendulum is hanging. At this level, the pendulum is hanging basically. Now, if I am taking the pendulum, say, at this position, suppose I have brought the pendulum to this position, say this is the position P. The position P. I have brought this pendulum to position P. When I am bringing this pendulum to bring at position P by applying the force, it means with reference to this line, I am providing this bob of the pendulum the potential energy. Why I am providing the potential energy? Because the height of the bob is increasing. With reference to this line, the height of the pendulum is increasing. So with reference to this line, the height of the pendulum is increasing. It means this bob is gaining a potential energy up to the point P. So suppose this is a point P. So now I have done work against the gravity to bring this bob of the pendulum at a certain height at point P. So it has gained this height H, and it has gained the potential energy. Potential energy, you know that at this point, according to, with reference to this, where I have placed this bob, I am holding this bob at this position P. It means now it is having a certain amount of potential energy. Okay. Now, the moment I'll release this bob, listen to me carefully. First of all, you must listen to me carefully. Okay. So the moment I'll release this bob, now the moment I release this bob of the pendulum, it will start moving towards position A. Why it will start moving towards position A? Because I done work in this bob of the pendulum against the gravity, and now that work has been accumulated in this pendulum in the form of potential energy. In the form of potential energy, that work has been uh, stored in this bob. Now, with the help of that potential energy, it is moving towards the position A. Now, listen to me very carefully. When it has a potential energy, with the help of that potential energy, or due to that potential energy, this bob will start moving towards the position A. Now what is happening? Gradually it is losing its height. Gradually it is losing its height, because height is decreasing. When it will come here, its height is decreasing, and at this point the height which it gained, the height which it gained became zero. So all of its potential energy will convert to kinetic energy. So here at this point the kinetic energy will be maximum. So at this point, when it will move from P to A itself with the help of the potential energy. Then gradually its potential energy is converting to kinetic energy. And at this point A, now the kinetic energy will be maximum. Now, at this point, as you might have observed, that the bob will not stop here. Why the bob will not stop here? Due to inertia. As I told you that the inertia is the characteristic property of the body which helps the body in doing whatever it is doing. So because the bob was moving with kinetic energy, due to kinetic energy, so it will continue its motion towards left. So the bob will move towards left due to the inertia, and it will go to another point. Say this is the point Q. Now it will not stop here. Now it will start moving. Now it has the maximum kinetic energy at point A. Now due to that kinetic energy, it will start moving towards point Q. Now gradually when it is moving towards Q, listen to me carefully, when it is moving towards Q, gradually its kinetic energy will decrease and its potential energy will again increase, because again it is going to gain certain height. So while going towards Q, kinetic energy is decreasing and potential energy is increasing. Now when it has gained its maximum height, now here potential energy will be maximum and kinetic energy will be equal to zero. Okay. Now here when it was not moving, here also kinetic energy was equal to zero, but the potential energy with reference to the point P is maximum. So in the to and fro motion of this bob, remember this very carefully. When the bob is moving towards the mean position, this A is the mean position. When the bob is moving towards the mean position, it is gaining kinetic energy but losing potential energy. And when bob was moving towards position Q, it was losing kinetic energy but gaining potential energy, because while moving from A to Q, its height is increasing and the velocity will decrease. So that is why its potential energy is increasing. Okay, observe it very carefully. I'm going to start this. Okay. Well, now here you can see that when it has moved when it has gained its maximum position, now its potential energy is maximum. You can see the red is maximum. So here in that position, its potential energy is maximum. Okay. Now when it will move down, now here you can observe gradually that it is going up. The kinetic, now it has stopped for, I'm stopping it for a while. Now you can see that at this position, here when it has reached the maximum height, now it's no kinetic energy. Now here the maximum gravitational potential energy, you can see this red block is highest, because I told you that this red is showing the potential energy. When it is at its highest position, its gravitational potential energy is maximum, because red is showing the potential energy. So at this maximum height, its potential energy is maximum, but because it is not moving at this point, so its kinetic energy is zero. Now when it will move towards down, look here carefully. Now here you can see that when it has come here, little kinetic, now here when it is coming here, the whole of its potential energy has changed to kinetic energy. Now the bob will not stop here, it will move towards new position. Now here at this position you can see that the maximum kinetic energy, because it starts moving from here, and when it will reach here at this point, it will not stop moving. Here it will have maximum kinetic energy but minimum gravitational potential energy, because according to the height, initial height of the pendulum, it has not gained any height. So you can see this block, green block, this block has green. This is showing that this whole energy is the kinetic energy. Now, as I told you, it will not stop here due to inertia. Now what will happen? It will again move towards the new position here, and it will continue its to and fro motion according to this. Okay, so I hope that you have understood. Let me show you it again. But potential, kinetic, and then again you can see a look of it. Maximum no kinetic, because it is reaching the maximum height, maximum gravitational potentiality at a maximum height. Now when it will move, okay, well, now here you can see, okay, now I hope you might have seen the movement of this pendulum when it was moving to and fro. This is a nuclear reactor basically. Okay, now I'll show you different parts of this nuclear reactor. First of all, let us discuss briefly the parts of this nuclear reactor. Uh, in this case, I'll also tell you that how the energy conversion are taking place, because we have discussed that law of conservation of energy, that energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. On only one form of energy is converted to another form. So this is a setup of a nuclear reactor. First of all, we have to discuss this chamber. This chamber is called the moderator, because here we have to do the nuclear reactions. Okay, there are rods of uranium, and this is the chamber we are going to discuss one by one. And there is a turbine here, and this is the generator. Okay, and these are the pipes which are carrying water. Now let us discuss briefly that what is happening here. First of all, you must see that this nuclear reactor is working like this. This is the traditional fossil fuels like coal, etc. You know that this is coal. But what is happening in the case of the nuclear reactor? A nuclear reactor is the source of intense heat. I'll give this sentence in the notes, in the comments, inshallah, on Edmodo. So please don't worry if you cannot read this. I am reading this, so listen to me carefully. The nuclear reactor is the source of intense heat, which is in turn used to generate used for generation of power in nuclear power station. So basically, instead of coal, here in the nuclear reactor, we are going to use the nuclear fuels like uranium. So here I'll discuss with reference to the uranium. So here we are going to use the uranium rods. So you will observe that how these rods are being used. So here you can see that the power station is working. Now, first of all, here steam is being generated and there's a turbine. Now, first of all, let us consider this chamber here. These are fuel elements basically. These are fuel elements. They are composed of uranium rods. Okay. So these uranium rods are used to generate heat energy. Now, what is happening first of all? Look here. This is moderator and this is the control. These are the control rods and these are the fuel elements one by one. Its width is 1 centimeter and this is made up of uranium. Let us consider again. Please see it again. Okay. So first of all, Let me tell you slowly. These are the fuel elements which are here. So here are the fuel elements. Now with the help of the fuel elements, radioactive reaction will take place. Now, second thing, the width of this fuel element is about 1 centimeter. Okay, it is about 1 centimeter in diameter, you can say. Now what is happening here? Here you can see that fissionable nuclei. This is made up of fissionable nuclei, which is uranium 235 and uranium 238. You know that in chemistry you might have learned about uranium 235 or uranium 238. So any of this element can be taken, and this is fissionable nuclei. Now further let us discuss. Now here you can have the close view of this chamber, this moderator. Actually there are too many rods, fuel rods here in this case. Now there are certain gaps in these rods which cannot be seen here. These are the pipes which are carrying water in this tank, and these pipes are having water which is here in this chamber. That water is circulated in these pipes only, and this is a fan which works, which is pumping the water throughout these pipes. And remember this, the water which is here is not leaking here in this next chamber. Okay, so please look here again. Now you can see that the fan is working. This fan is working like this. Okay, because it is pumping water. Moderator, this is moderator. Now this is very important to understand. These are the rods, these small one are the neutrons. Okay, neutrons, they have to strike with these bars. Have to strike with these bars. These are made up of uranium, as I told you. In this chamber, what is going on? These are different. There are numerous number of neutrons which are striking with these uranium bars. When they strike with this uranium bar, the process of fission take place. Now you have to see that how the fission process is taking place. Okay, so now they are striking with the bars. You can see that they are striking with the bar, and please observe it very carefully. Now here, how they are striking. Again, please let me show you. Sorry, just wait a minute. They are striking with the bar, and now this is a single thermal neutron. This is shown a single thermal neutron. This thermal neutron, this will go and strike with the bar. Okay, because you know that the bar is made up of uranium. Let me see that only few minutes are remaining. Okay, so please guys be with us because I'm just going to close this. Okay, now please observe this very carefully. What is going on? Now this is when this is striking with this, it is dividing into two. Three more neutrons are generating. Three more neutrons. Now these three neutrons will strike with three more atom nuclei of uranium. Now they are going towards three more nuclei, and these three more nuclei are again breaking and providing 9 new neutron. Basically each one is producing three more. So this is a chain reaction in which a tremendous amount of energy is being produced, and this is a chain reaction. This is happening here in this moderator. When this is striking with this, you can see that two new neutron are producing. These neutron again striking with this bar of uranium, and again the electrons neutron are striking with the bar, and again they are number of neutron are being produced. It means a tremendous amount of energy is being produced, and this ordinary water or the heavy water is used here. Why the heavy water is used? Because to slow down the speed of this neutron. When the water molecules are coming in the path of this neutron, these water molecules are basically trying to stop the speed of this fast moving neutron. When the speed of this fast moving neutron decreases, it means we can control the reaction. We can control this reaction which is taking place. Another thing, when the number of neutrons are being produced, then we are going to use this control rods. Remember, these are the control rods. They are made up of cadmium or some other materials. I'm just going to tell you, there are too many neutrons are being produced here. Now, if there are too many neutrons, it means too much energy is being produced. Now, we don't know too much energy. We don't need too much energy. Now, what we are going to do, we are going to use these rods. They are control rods. They are called control rods. These control rods are inserted here like this. When these control rods are inserted, the extra neutrons are clinging with this, and then when they are sticking with this boron or cadmium rod, these are control rods, cadmium or boron, they are taking away. Now you can see that these control rods are taking away the extra neutron. Now there are lesser number of neutrons. It means we have controlled the process of nuclear energy. Okay, now this is the process when the water is going to boil, and this water is taking here in these pipes, boiling this water. When this water boils, steam is taken out from these pipes, and this steam is moving this turbine. When this turbine is moving, behind this turbine there is a generator, and this generator produces electricity. Now here you can see that first of all there was chemical energy of uranium that is converted to the heat energy, and then heat energy used that energy which is called the steam. When the steam is heating up, now the kinetic energy of the steam, that kinetic energy of steam is used. Okay, so the last screen, let me show you the last screen. Okay, here you can see that the kinetic energy of the steam is used up. Okay, so this is basically the mechanism. I hope you have understood. You can watch the video again.